Welcome back, everybody. After a summer break, we are back, the WisMissus Podcast, reading, writing, roaming around Wisconsin, the Midwest, and beyond. And I recently have been beyond because I was in Nashville at BoucherCon. We'll talk a little bit about that, but today our big topic is going to be about the Wisconsin Writers Association Fall Conference, October, 25 and 26. Do I have that?
26.
Yes. So I'm Valerie Biel, and I am joined, of course, by TK Sheffield. We are the co-hosts of this lovely podcast. I've missed you.
Thank you. I have missed you too. And I want to say you look smashing in pink.
Even though I am recovering from a bout of COVID, we call it con crud, right? I caught COVID at BoucherCon. And you know what? It was so much fun. It was actually worth getting COVID. I'm not kidding.
I'm glad to hear that. that it was worth it. And we've talked briefly, before we began, and it sounded like it was an amazing event. Fabulous for everybody involved.
It was. Now, if you don't know what BoucherCon is, it's spelled Boucher. It's named after a mystery writer. And I would have to, dive into the whole, history of the naming of this conference, but it's a mystery conference. Thrillers, suspense, all of that, all the genres and subgenres of mystery, and seriously, large quantity of famous people. And you just hang out with these amazing writers, and there's mainly panel discussions and a lot of interviews between, you say, one famous author interviewing another famous author, which is very fun. So, I mean, you can always go over to the website and see, they move around. It's not always in Nashville. This one was in Nashville. Next year is New Orleans. The year after that is Calgary. Yep. Then DC. And then they just voted that the next one after that will be Indianapolis. So they really plan them out far in advance. So.
Oh, fabulous.
But anyway, so I'm kind of hyped, and even though my immunities are messed up because of this lovely virus, it was so much fun, and I came home with a boatload of books. And
oh, good for you.
Yeah. So other than that, we've both been working hard on getting our new books out for the fall.
Yes.
Whew. So what did you say to me earlier? 3 books is
3 books in less than a year is too many, and we're going to have a podcast devoted exactly to the mistakes we've made, so that other writers can learn from us.
It's so many things. And even when you know what you're doing, because you've recently put 2 books out. Now, I do this for other people, but it's been, wow. Is it seriously 7.5 years since I've put a book out?
Wow.
So I know the steps to do all this. But I'm like, oh, wow, there's a lot of minutia, right?
There's a lot of minutia. And when you're a one person band, it takes a lot of detail. And I've found this. I think the secret to success is one word, and it's called organization.
It is.
You're organized.
I have spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you organize? Spreadsheets or just lists?
Lists and spreadsheets. And
to
the point where I have so many spreadsheets, it's like, okay, I need to detox from
the digital spreadsheets. I'm color coded. So I decided, because I don't know why exactly, to put 2 books out at once. No, I know why. I thought, you know what? A lot of these processes are similar. It's going to then be a little bit economy of scale to do the process just twice, at the same time for 2 books. That is not altogether true. my premise is not altogether.
Do you have them? Let me see them.
I do. So this one, Beyond the Cemetery Gate.
Oh,
this has still got the band across the top. So it's
the author copy. Oh, congratulations. It looks outstanding.
Okay. So briefly, one mistake. Oh, look at that chunky thing. Chunky. Yeah. So because I had been formatting this one, I do my own formatting. This is the hardcover of Haven.
Oh, they look amazing. They look fabulous.
So interesting. Thank you. My goodness. And it was so nice to hold these in your hand. Yeah. Now, this isn't the official unboxing thing, because these are the proof copies and stuff. This is from Ingram Spark. Interestingly enough, Ingram Spark, the colors aren't quite as vibrant. And I know that's part of what their cover recommendations are, the format with which you use to upload and stuff. But my mistake is to do with so you've got middle grade, right? So you've got a bigger font, slightly bigger line spacing. I was working with a wonderful illustrator who did 8 different.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Beautiful.
I just really appreciated her. She was just a delight to work with. So many things have gone right. But then, so I'm switching from this and I'm using Atticus software.
Okay.
Which do you use Vellum or Atticus?
Vellum. I use
Vellum.
Vellum. Or Vellum uses me. Vellum knows
Yeah.
more than I do.
So, so I'm doing this one and I'm using the same, I think I just went a little bit too big on the line spacing. So
Okay.
the problem is I'm going to change that, right?
Mhm.
And that's fine, except guess what that changes?
Yeah,
Your
you're spine.
spine. And so I have to just do some quick revision on my cover. That's a today job. I need to do that.
So do you do your cover as well?
I do not usually do my cover. This cover was a collaboration between the people at 100 Book Covers, which I
Oh, okay.
purchased a package, and my daughter, who is a graphic designer. And there were things they just weren't getting right. And I said, take what they've got, let's pop it into your, Adobe software,
Right.
and she did some, we did some color changes and some intensity changes and played with
Nice.
it a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
So like I say, one
I have
step forward, 3 steps back.
Yes, to your point, to that point.
So much fun.
AI, everybody's talking about AI and autocorrect and, and certain like Scrivener, they finish sentences now and it's just a little bit harder to work with actually, because I write with a lot of funny jokes, a lot of made up words. And so Scrivener will try to fix them for me. And I'm like,
they don't know
"No,
what to do with made up words."
Yes. Well, so also, and you know how it learns things. Well, so I'm typing away, going quickly on my phone and my computer. And so for some reason, it has confused now model. I have model suspect,
Yes.
model wave, and, model ghost is coming out, except now it confuses the word model with mold.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, no, 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 no,
So,
no. It's
yes.
not doing like a search and replace on you, is it?
No, not that far, but like anytime I use my phone and I say model ghost, it says mold ghost, which is not the title. But if it happens in an email newsletter or something on social media, it says mold ghost. Okay, it's a typo that I can't control.
Like, you can't win sometimes.
No.
So Hank Philippi Ryan, the wonderful author Hank Philippi Ryan, who I know you know her as well. She's been to Wisconsin. In fact, she was one of the speakers at last year's Wisconsin Writers Association conference. She was also at BoucherCon, and she had just had some disastrous like replace thing. Like I remember it was apostrophe or something that you use regularly in your writing got like a search and replace thing. And so then she had to go through and fix all the things. And she was like, why a simple undo didn't work, I do not know. She was very frustrated with it. So, you don't have to be just, in the trenches here, like, working hard as an indie author. This happens to people at all levels of writing that we have difficulties. I mean, not that we want to wish those on people, but
yeah, 280 model ghost is 286 pages, 64,000 words. And you literally have to go through and read every single one and fix it, and that's what takes so long. And that is part of the process that it is writing. And even if you have a professional editor, they still miss things. Things are going to be missed,
And so I love my stories. I still do. However, I didn't really want to read them again right now. Like, I'm busy enough. So I'm finding though that I was paging through just to make sure, like, the fleurons were in place. Like, the 3 asterisks you use, that I wanted to make sure that they got replaced with the pretty little thing that I'd picked, right? So I was doing like a formatting check that would go relatively quickly as you page through and go, oh, does it all look right? Am I numbered consecutively, like my chapters, like format? And then I read a couple pages and I found a typo. Yeah, I
you
know.
have my sympathies.
And so then I thought,
there.
do I read it all again? And I have had amazing, amazing reviewers and beta readers who have fed me all the errors that I thought were left. And apparently there was at least that one. So now I'm sitting here and it's a Friday. We're recording this on a Friday. And and now I'm sad. And I feel like I just need to spend part of the weekend rereading my story.
Oh, well, try not to stress. Because we've all been there, we've all been there.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And I'm
you
sure
know,
many people watching you understand that. And I will not, I will do my very, very best. I should say, I will not put something out with a typo because I am certain there will be some typos left in these books that have been, missed by all the proofreaders. But my goal is, of course, like anyone's, like yours,
yeah.
to as typo free as possible. So
Well, and I found one, I did a proofread for someone and I found one in the blurbs,
in the blurbs.
in the blurb.
Oh, now I got it. Now I'm freaking out. Now I got to go back and read my
No.
blurbs.
Well, you read everything so much that you memorize it. And so you're not reading it anymore. You're skimming, you're saying it to yourself, but you're skimming, you're not seeing it on the page. And
Yes.
it was something that I saw because it was fresh eyes and the editor
Mhm.
didn't see it.
Mhm.
So it is what it is, and do your best and be happy with what you've accomplished, because writing a book and producing it and getting the cover and getting it out there is a big accomplishment. So
It is. It is. And here's the funny thing that I stumbled on yesterday. So this book is on a tough topic, right? It's on domestic abuse. It's seen through the eyes of an 11-year-old. I've done my very, very best to treat it properly for the age group. So I pop over to Amazon because it's fed over there for pre-sales now. And it has a little orange banner that says #1 new release in subcategory. It is in children's books on abuse, which sounds kind of horrible, right? But
yeah,
that is, one of my categories is,
right.
the tough topic of domestic abuse. And I'm not sure how that happened, but apparently people are pre-ordering it and it has popped
Oh,
in that category. So there's some bright things that happen along the way.
well, good for you.
You
That's
watch
well
it.
done. Congratulations.
So
And that is a tough topic. And
yes,
the recent movie that came out that you went to,
yes, yes.
it's a topic that's in the news right now, and it's like you say, you handled it gently, and people need to read more and know more, right?
Well, and I think it's an empathy thing for any of the kids. It's always this thing with children's right? Children's literature, windows and mirrors. Like, do you provide a window into something that is not part of someone's experience? Or do you provide a mirror where someone is reading a story and it reflects back aspects of their own life that make them feel like, they belong, that people see their situation. So we'll see. We'll see where this lands. I'm putting it out there as a project near and dear to my heart. And it's just like you with your books too. This stuff's a roller coaster. So
Right.
we're riding the coaster.
Right. And glad to be on it. This is my dream, and I'm very blessed to be able to do it and do it full time and make a
Yes.
million mistakes, but still do it, still hang in there,
Yeah, I know I sound like I'm complaining. I'm really not. This is an honor to be able to do this and to have, the time and space and the wherewithal to get these books out. So I'm very grateful. But there are moments, especially this week has been kind of crazy, like where you're just like, okay, well, we're just going to shut the laptop and come
Right.
back to this in a little while.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm very glad to be talking with you again, though. Seriously, I guess did we just take July and August off? I can't remember.
July and August.
Yeah. So it feels like longer. It feels like I haven't talked to you in longer
Yeah.
than just July and August. So
And then we'll see each other in end of October. We'll see each other at Stony Creek for the WWA event,
that's
25th
right.
and 26th.
So up in
Yeah.
the La Crosse area, which is lovely. Wisconsin Writers Association moves around the state. I'm excited. I think it'll be really fun. Now I have to remind myself. So who is it? Ann Garvin, who's our main speaker?
Yeah, we have it's 2 days. We're close to full. So if you want to attend, it's by the time this actually publishes, it might be full. But it's very affordable. It's
Yes,
accessible, and it's got 2 full days of events. We've got a track for beginners, we've got a track for advanced, and we got a track for marketing. So you've got a wide variety to pick from. And our keynote, we've got Ann Garvin, who's fabulous, and Lon Samantha Chang. So we've got 2 keynotes. We've got a contest awards, Jade Ring Awards. We've got breakout sessions. We've got publishers, and we've got agent pitches. So we're packing a lot
fabulous.
into the 2, days.
Mm-hmm. It's a really, really good event. It's manageable because it is just the 2 days. So many people, right, that are breaking into writing have a day job, and to go to like a week-long conference like this voucher con, it's just they're not gonna use all their vacation days up for that kind of thing. So this is very accessible and manageable in for your schedule. I've always enjoyed this conference. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. And then you're speaking. What are you going to speak about? You're on the roster for a breakout
I'm on the
session?
roster. I'm going to talk about, yeah, and you're on the roster too. I'm going to talk about writing log lines and short descriptions. So,
Ooh, which is
for
hard.
example, model ghost, not mold ghost, model ghost. Its description is it puts the fun in fashion, and it's the Thursday Murder Club meets the Devil Wears Prada. So, it's got a catchy phrase, and then I've got a comparable description for it. So I'm going to talk about that, how you can do that for your work, and then short descriptions that, 1 paragraph, 3-sentence description that gets to the heart of what your theme is and who your characters are and what happens. So I'm going to give advice about writing that, and then just resources and materials for finding out more. And it'll be a fun session. I want to make it marketing, I think, should be fun. It shouldn't be, a session where you're stressed and worried, because marketing in theory is fun, right?
It should be fun. I think that we approach it with trepidation, which makes it more important that you make it as fun as you can.
Right.
So are you gonna go ahead? Sorry.
Well, because you're doing it, you got to think of the big picture. You're doing this because you have a passion to write something and share it with the world, and let's get it out there and as well described as we can. So
are you going to, is this more of a workshop session? Are you going to have people work on their short descriptions?
Oh yeah.
That's
Bring
really
pen and
good.
paper, and we're going to go to it right away.
Oh, I think that's fun. That's really fun. So part of what I'm doing right now is I'm putting my book out in a lot of places, right? I'm sending it out for review to professional, like editorial reviewers. And you use that short description over and over and over again when you're, popping, the book into sites. You don't use the long one. They can see that on like, Barnes and Noble or Amazon or whatever, right?
Right.
So I've been consistently using that this week. Copy paste,
You're
paste.
going to use it everywhere. You're going to use it, right, for your review copy, promo copy, media kit, award copy, Amazon. When you buy ads on Amazon, or if you buy ads on,
Well, even Facebook.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, the problem really is that we all have such short attention spans that we need, wait, give it to me quick. I need the summary, right? Like I need to know if I want to read this book. So, what you do with your story is that you are giving people that read cozies a reference point. People know Devil Wears Prada, and people know now. Thursday Murder Club, is that Richard Osman? Osman? Yeah.
There's Murder Club, right?
Right. So people know that series. So they're like, oh, and they can immediately place it in, their brain as to what kind of book it is. And then, you're witty, and, you do play on words. So the fun and fashion, whatever.
Fun and fashion. Yes. This one is fun. It really is. The third one, she comes around and has to confront her past, right? The first book, it's about the series is about mysteries, but it's also about friendship. So in the first book, she really understood how withdrawn she was from the world, given her profession, that she was a mannequin. And then the second book, she reaches out for romance. And in the third book, she has to confront her past, and what did she learn, and why, how did it affect her? So that's this character arc through the 3 books. It's not the main theme, but it's part of it.
Yeah, but it's so fun. And she's such a fun character, and the interiority of her her sarcastic thoughts, like so funny. I mean, I will say this, and every time I review one of your books, I'm like, oh, laugh out loud, whatever. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not just like, writing you a nice review because I know you. I write a nice review because you write really, really good books. I just laugh so hard. And then I'm like, it's like 1 a.m. because I tend to read, we talk about this, I read late, and I'm like trying not to make laugh too loud because I don't want to wake my husband up. So
Well,
So, I mean, that's awesome. And I love grabbing one of your books because I've read, you know, how, you know, you need sort of palate cleanser sometimes, like you've read something way too serious or like something dark. Like I read a lot of thrillers and suspense and, you know, some mysteries very, very like dark and it takes your brain to, you know, places that, you know, require a little palate cleanser afterward, where you can enjoy a story, laugh a little bit, enjoy the mystery. Your mysteries are definitely really twisty and surprising, like who the culprit is. I really enjoy that. So it's not like it's easy to figure out or something like that, but the lightness of your books is, I think, really nice to have on the market.
Oh, thank you.
So
Yeah, there's
there's so
stories
many.
for readers to laugh and escape. That's
Yeah,
my, again, tagline, right? That's it. Stories for readers to laugh and escape. Because, like you say, there's a lot of heavy, fun, twisty books out there that are suspense filled or a little more graphic. But I don't do violence. I don't do sex. I don't do politics. I don't do bad language.
yeah,
And something like you say, a palate cleanser to just enjoy on a beach read, a holiday, a vacation, somewhere you can just go and laugh and relax.
yeah. No, that's perfect. We need that. And I love the others too, but that's why I mix it up. I like to
Right.
mix it up. So, so that's what you're going to talk about is the log, like your basically log line, the short description. That's really important. I just don't think authors think about that until they're ready to really market their book, but it can help them find agents. It can help them with all the steps all the way through. Along with Sylvia Acevedo, I will be talking about the agent search.
Oh,
And
fabulous.
kind of ironic is that I didn't find an agent, but neither did Sylvia. And we've both been agented before. So we're coming at this breakout session from a spot of having had success in that agent hunt, not having the agent process work out well for us, having to sever ties with our previous agent and then move forward with a new agent like search. So we're going to talk through like all the ins and outs. How do you do this? How do you find the list of people to query? And we're just going to give anyone who attends that session all the resources that they need to do you know, a solid agent hunt. And we can't promise success, but we're going to try to set everybody up for the best success we can with the resources they need. So.
That's fabulous. And when you know, when you think about our keynotes, you think about accessibility to agents, agent pitch, practice pitches, masterclass. This is such an affordable event. You know, I'm going to Killer Nashville next year, and I'm looking for other events. And you were at BoucherCon, and you went to the one in Dallas. But when you think about the affordability of what Wisconsin Writers Association authors, you know, our dues are $35. But, and then we have the virtual critique classes. We have the monthly, just, you know, get together and learn something. Oh, the one on mysteries for us, you know, that we
Yes.
gave.
And that
And
was
it's
so
free to
fun.
member.
Yeah. And that was, you know, and that one was really, what was it called? Pot a Plot, I
Mhm.
think. And that one was very well attended. And it was just about using the elements of mystery plotting in other types of stories, in other genres of writing, and how that type of suspenseful plotting applies, you know, across the board to other, you know, other types of novels or books.
And then
But,
we've had, you know, well, April is Poetry Month. We have a Midwest Writers Room podcast.
mhm.
And you can submit your, you know, if you wanted to be a guest, you can ask, you can apply. You can also talk about our new release and their chapter break. We offer so much. It's so affordable, and they put on a great event once a year.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
and the event isn't that expensive. You
No, it's
know,
not.
the
What's the
early bird pricing is
registration?
gone, but
Yeah, what's the price on that? We should mention the price
I think
actually.
we're up to 230 now, but it was,
No, not that much money. I mean, granted,
well,
you're gonna,
that's now that early bird pricing is over.
yeah, and
But
you
for
will need,
members, early bird was much, much less than that.
a, you know, a hotel room if you don't live in the La Crosse area. I'll put a link in the show notes to Wisconsin Writers Association. And for those of you, now there may be people, you know, seeing this podcast who are from other states. You probably have a similar organization in
Yes.
your state. Otherwise, too, if you are in an adjacent state, we often have people come and attend our events, particularly La Crosse event. Hey, you Minnesota writers, you know, this is just kept across the bridge. If you live, you know, not too far into Minnesota in the La Crosse, you know, across the
Right.
Mississippi River, you'll find that in the Midwest, we do attend events in our neighboring states, which is really quite fun.
Chicago has a number of them.
Mhm.
Southwest Writers, I can't recommend highly enough. They do a wonderful job with their newsletter and their monthly events. Colorado has a lot of local writing
Yes,
groups, Pacific
yes.
Northwest. So, New England Crime Bake, right? Isn't that in the fall with their
Oh,
interview?
yes, right. Aren't they funny? Crime Bake.
Very funny. So, I'm going to be giving a talk later this month for Sisters in Crime, and we're going to be talking about the benefits of joining your local organization. And I can't recommend it highly enough because you can go to these events, you can meet fellow writers, you can share ideas, share resources, encourage one another, offer to read someone's work. There's so much you can get from attending one of these. You don't have to go to Nashville, even though that's really great, but you can go close and meet other writers. We have Lakefly, we have the Driftless Writing Organization, there's organizations
Yes.
in Madison, there's one in Waukesha. There's so many, and all you have to do to find those, go on the WWA website, and it will show writing groups or organizations on the menu as a pull down, and you
Mhm.
can see who's around you to join and make friends with and encourage, and find your genre and start writing.
Well, and if you are in another state, any sort of Google search about like writing organizations in, plug in your state, you will find the same kind of lists.
Right.
And then, so coming off of, all of the pandemic stuff, and it's kind of ironic because I did catch COVID at BoucherCon. Anyway, I never really got super sick, just, like a cold, whatever. The thing about being in person and that energy and how important it is just for meeting people. And I'm just so happy to be back, to the in-person conferences and getting to, really just get to know other writers and learn from them at all different stages. You can learn something, even if you are maybe a more advanced writer and you have books out, you can always learn something, even from a new writer with a new perspective. And it's just fun. And I am maybe like the odd person out that I am a writer who's also an extrovert. So I really appreciate making new friends at these conferences in a way that you can't do on a webinar, right? You just don't. Even if they try to do the chat thing in the beginning, it's kind of lame, right? And
Right.
awkward. So, so these serve a purpose now. I mean, obviously they've always served a purpose, but just getting back into the groove makes you realize how important it is to be with your people, other writers.
Right. It makes a difference. And I think, writing is such a solitary exercise. You're in your head, you're making up ideas, you're creating theory in your head, you're creating characters, situations that may or may not work. You don't
Right.
know because
Right.
you're in it. You don't see it from an outsider, right? By the time you get to the end. So having that second set of eyes on everything and to tell you, look, the pacing here is fine. Here it really picks up, there it drags. I didn't, this question was never answered. You really need that. And if you can find trusted beta readers who
Right.
will look at your work with a practiced eye and give you honest feedback, that's invaluable when you're trying to write an entire book,
Oh, for sure. And so there's so much of that goes on. So we're both members of Sisters in Crime. And, so for instance, at BoucherCon, which is, like I say, a mystery conference, there's a lot of members of Sisters in Crime there from all over the country. But, you get together and these are people who you probably have seen online at an event, like we all do the Brady Bunch style,
Right.
squares. And we're like, oh yeah, no, I took your session, or I remember, you from whatever webinar, and oh, you asked that good question about, whatever, but you make friends that you may have the seeds are already planted because you've joined this group, but then you can make friends in person, and it's like, I don't know. It's special. It's special. You can tell I was happy I went. Now I've been home for, I don't know, 7 days, maybe 6. I forget when I came home. Anyway, and I still am thinking through the people that I met and some things that were said, and I took notes in different sessions and whatever. Now it's time to go back to some of those notes and go, okay, what was that really neat thing that got said in that panel discussion on creating really great villains, right? The tidbits. So I don't take a lot of notes at conferences of this type because it's more of a enjoyable panel discussion type thing, in interviews. But
I'm laughing because I still have the last, Writers Institute in Madison. I still have my folder with my
all
notes.
those
I think from
giant,
2017. You know,
Yes.
the Writers Institute in Madison was so good. It was really, really well done and put on by Lori Shear and Christine Desmet, and they did an amazing job.
I
And
still have those binders. I have like
yes,
a desk with a pedestal just here to the left, and that entire like little pedestal area is full of the binders from Writers Institute.
yeah.
So
So,
yeah.
you know, and that's the benefit. That's the benefit
Mhm.
that you go to these excellent conferences that they don't necessarily have to be the big name ones. They can be the regional ones, and you can get some fabulous information from
Yes.
attending them that you're going to keep and use.
Yes, Writers Institute, may it rest in peace. We are so
Yeah.
sad. But I think, one thing I will say is that I think Wisconsin Writers Association has stepped up its game to help fill that gap and have a broader conference with a lot more like the tracks, like you said,
Mhm.
marketing. What are the tracks? Marketing, fiction, nonfiction? Or,
No, a beginner,
oh, okay.
advanced marketing.
Okay. So beginner, advanced marketing. And the
You can have a
marketing,
book conference just on marketing, like
we could,
just
we
that,
could.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know,
And I was on a panel discussion on marketing at BoucherCon with some just fabulous people who I was just honored to meet. And it was 8 a.m. on the first day of the conference. It was like, oh, this is
wow.
early. But they started the day at 8 a.m. with these panels and they ran all day long till like 5 o'clock. So, you'd pick and choose what you wanted to go to because sometimes you need a break. But our room was relatively full at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So we were
Oh,
impressed with the diligence of those people that they showed up and asked such great questions. But it shows you why, marketing feels, so nebulous to us sometimes. And
mhm.
so I'm really, really glad that, WWA is doing a marketing track.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
important.
we try to respond to what our surveys tell us for, you know, and after this event, there will be one. I'm not sure how often they conduct those, but definitely want to serve what readers or writers need right now. And it's always marketing, it's writing tips, it's learning more about certain writers from the state.
Yeah.
You know, we just try to give writers encouragement and resources and assistance as best we can at a reasonable price.
Yeah, great platform and great, great offerings for such a little membership fee. This is our WWA
Right,
commercial podcast, but
right.
but seriously though, like it's true though. And like I said, again, there's going to be organizations very, very similar in other states if you're kind of joining us from, another place in the country. So
And, you
I'm
know,
excited.
and it's, if you're from Wisconsin and maybe you've tried WWA and you go, you know, I think I need something more, try one, you know, give it a shot. If you're like, you know, I just feel like I need something different. I'm fascinated by the Pacific Northwest. I'm fascinated by out east. My story is set in Maine. Try out, you know, the crime bake. What are they? I can't
I
remember.
can't think of the name of it, but it's like basically crime, like crime
Clam
bake.
bake.
Yeah, right.
You know,
So
try them, reach out and say, look, this is my story is set in the South. I want to go, you know, I want to reach out and
go to
find out.
Savannah for a writing
Right.
conference.
Right.
Nice gothic southern novel, right?
Exactly.
With all the moss hanging down from the trees.
Right. Yeah.
So
Not
I
like
mean,
me, you know, mold.
mold, no mold, no mold. Now that'd be a nightmare. Nobody wants that. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. That is again October 25th and 26th up in the La Crosse area at Stony Creek?
Stony
Uh,
Creek.
Yes. And so, like I say, in the show notes, we'll have the link when this comes out. Hopefully, check out that there's still space. Usually, there are a few spots still remaining. So, if you did not sign up and now we've convinced you to go over there and sign up, I'm really hoping that there's still space. And if you're from another state, I'm sure there's some wonderful conferences near you, especially if you're trying to remain economical as you dive into your writing career and just find things a little closer to your home. So fun conversation. Very good to get to see you and talk with you again. We don't live that far apart, but it's been a couple months where we really enjoyed our summer, did a lot of
Right.
work, right? But we haven't talked much.
We
So
haven't talked much, but then we're doing author events. We're doing one in Lake Mills. We're doing
yes,
one in Watertown.
yes.
And then you have one at the end of October.
Yes. So we should maybe run through those dates real quick and we'll put links to those as well. So
Okay.
for our personal book events, my book launches, because again, I decided to do two at once, is Halloween, because why not? And if you come in costume, I'm going to have some sort of little prize for everyone. So I'm encouraging people to show up in costume. And then immediately after that would be Saturday, November 2nd. We are at Literatus, right?
We're at Literatus on the 2nd Saturday, yes, 10
That's in
to
Watertown.
yes, and then we'll be in a Daydream Believer on Friday night, the 8th of November, and
Yes.
be there from about 6 to 7, I think.
Yes, and that's in Lake Mills for anybody who's in that area. So I'm excited for those. Now, remind me, when does Model Ghost come out?
Model Ghost will be, let me look at my calendar. Model Ghost is going to be, I will have it'll be out the 22nd of October. It is on
Okay.
pre-sale right now, and it'll
Excellent.
be up the 22nd of October, and I will be meeting with Doug Moe at Mystery to Me, having a conversation about writing and books and writing funny books, even though I grew up in Madison during a very tumultuous time.
Yes. Yes, you kept your sense of
Yeah.
humor.
Yes,
You have a well-developed sense of humor.
I hope so.
That'll be an interesting. I will for sure try to get to that. That would be fun. So October 22nd down on Monroe Street at Mystery to Me in Madison, Wisconsin. And then not long after that, we'll be both headed up to La Crosse for this for the WWA conference. So
Right.
October's going to be in early November are going to be really busy, right?
Exactly. It'll be a fun busy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So hopefully everybody, join us if you can for those events. The Mystery to Me one is going to be virtual as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can't make it over there on the 22nd, you can always join virtual and still be part of the discussion that night.
Right.
So
yep, just sign up on the event page, and you'll get the link and more information. So
right.
there'll be giveaways and fun things,
Yeah. And they do such a nice job there. That's one of my favorite bookstores. So yay. Yay, small bookstores. We love you.
Yes, we do.
So we'll see you guys all next month.